Hey everyone, just started the live. No one's in here. We're just going to let people come in here. But for those of you who are watching the recording, the topic for today is going to be, as in the title, which is this feeling of wanting certainty in our lives and in our business. Like a lot of the people that I interact with are looking for this C word, which is certainty. And as you come in, just say hello in the chat if you feel like it. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. I'm just going to use the chat here. And by the way, on the replays on this, there's a if you're watching the replay and not watching this live. By the way, this is the fifth straight day I think I've gone live, not including the weekend. So I'm doing a test here. I'm on a streak. I went live on Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's 5 days in a row, and anywhere from like 30 to 40 minutes up to an hour. And I'm just seeing how it's going to improve my channel, and I'll bring it to my communities. So thank you for coming to the lives, because some of you have come to all of them. Every week in my mastermind group, and I have, for those of you that are seeing me for the first time, my name is Brian O'Neill, and I help people launch online businesses using what they already know how to do, right? Sell what you know how to do. And I have two school communities in a coaching program. I have an education business. I've had many businesses over the last 15 years that I've tried. I've tried a lot of different. I'm known as the 26 side hustle guy. I started 26 side hustles, quit on all of them, gave up on all of them until the 27th one worked, and then I messed that whole thing up too. And there's many reasons why that didn't work out. But now I'm on number 28, and this is my current business as it exists. And I basically take all those lessons that I've learned over those 27 attempts that didn't work, and I share it with everyone so that you don't have to go through what I went through. And that is the way that I view, like, where my value is to the world, because there's a lot of people out there that are searching for a business that could change their life, right? They're looking to make more money. They're looking to get out of their 9 to 5. That was me. And I was so lost and stuck. So that's what I do now. But I encourage questions. Like, I always have a topic. Like, I'm really more of a wing it kind of guy, even though I have an agenda and I have topics that I want to talk about. A lot of this stuff I've been talking about for years. Really, whatever's just coming into my brain is coming out of my mouth. So for those of you who might be afraid of content or doing something like this, like, just know that there's nothing that I have that I'm prepared with, right? I like your opinion about AI. Mirza, hi, yes. Farhan, thank you. I do have opinions about AI. Don't go down rabbit holes with it. Do you want my opinion, or do you like? Are you telling me that you like my opinion, or are you saying that you would like to have my opinion? Like, you want me to give you some type of an answer? Can you clarify that, please? While we're doing that, I want to talk about this word certainty. My son and I were talking on the way back from his baseball practice the other day about the word certainty, because I share it. Thank you. So you like my opinion? Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching my videos and for being here. I'm grateful. I really am truly grateful for all of you who comment on my videos, watch them, give me feedback, and give me inspiration to keep going and to make more of them. I was having this conversation with my son, as I said, on the way back from baseball practice, and we were talking about, like, guarantees and certainties and how people always want them. Like, they want to know that if they do something, that it's definitely going to work. They want certainty. And I shared with him I'll give you my opinion, Randy, in 1 minute. I shared with him my opinion on guarantees and certainty. And I said, really, the only thing, we were talking through this, and he's 14 and he's pretty intelligent, right? And I said, the only certain, like, you'll hear the old adage, like, the only guarantees in life are death and taxes. And I say the only guarantee, because some people don't pay their taxes, right? So that's not a guarantee. You'll have to pay them, but some people just won't pay them, or they get around paying them. So really, the only guarantee, the only thing that we know for a fact that is certain, is that you are going to die. That's it. There's no other guarantee, there's no other certainty, yet we crave it and we want it so bad. And the irony is that we're all trying to avoid death. For the most part, we're trying to avoid dying. Like we're trying to avoid the thing that is certain. And yet we crave certainty. When we start a business, if we were to start a business, we want to know with certainty that this is going to work. Well, no shit. Of course we all want to know that, but it's not achievable. It is absolutely not achievable, and it is egotistical and maniacal for anyone to think that it would be certain. There's just simply no way to guarantee it. And you can't predict what will and what won't happen. Now, you can have a pretty good idea, but people think that they can research their way into certainty. And that's the trap. That's the trap. The only thing that is certain is that if you continue to research and you don't start, then your life won't change. You won't, nothing will get better. Like you'll just end up with probably a big sack of regret that I wish I would have started sooner, which a lot of you have said that to me. Like, I wish I would have started 20 years ago. That's really what you're going to get if you don't start. What will be certain if you do start is that you will absolutely learn something. Will you and this is what I told my son too, is I don't make guarantees with my clients. I don't. I don't make guarantees like, hey, if you do this, you will get this. Now, I make guarantees that say, hey, if you don't achieve a certain result within a certain amount of time, I'll work with you. I'll give you another call. I'll give you your money back. Like those are the guarantees that I make. But I don't say, hey, you will make $10,000. You will make $1,000. But here's a guarantee that I can make for you, for anyone that comes into any of my groups, my coaching program, which will be, you will want to quit. Guaranteed, you will want to quit. That is the guarantee that I thought about putting on my sales pages. It's like, here's the guarantee I'm going to make you. You will want to give up more than once. And I can help you work through that, because we were talking about this in one of our calls the other day inside of Mindset School. I have two school communities, by the way. I have a Mindset School, which is for lack of a better phrase, it's my entry level, like mindset school, like work on your mindset before we work on your business. And then I have a mastermind group for people who are like worked through the mindset stuff and they're ready and they want a higher level of support. So those are my two school communities. I'm going to pause here. My opinion on AI. So, Randy, thank you for the question. I would like your opinion on AI. AI was something that I resisted when it first came out. I'm 51 years old, so I'm a little bit. I'm at that age where I lived for the majority of my life without technology. Like, we didn't have the internet and we didn't have cell phones. I didn't have a cell phone until I was 25. So I'm on both sides of it. When AI came out, I said, you know what, forget this. I'm going to resist this. I don't need this. Like, everyone's jumping in. I don't need it. And then I finally embraced it. I said, okay, I'm going to check this out. And it's been super helpful for me. I use it as a tool. That's it. When I use AI, I don't let it make decisions for me. I use it as a way to organize my thoughts. I'm still big on creative thinking. I still write a lot of stuff down. I still do a lot of speaking, and I use what I've spoken or what I've written and I give it to AI and I help it organize it for me. How can I make this better? So I'm the driver, right? I'm the driver. I'm the one who's prompting it. And I just use it to my advantage. And I don't ask it for its opinion. I don't ask it to make decisions for me. I just don't do that. I think too many people fall into that trap of relying too much on AI to help them with decisions. I use it simply to be better at what I'm already good at and better and faster than what I'm already good at. Hello. Nice to see you again. Glad you're here. I've already lost. Is that helpful to you, Farn or Randy? Sorry, Randy. Is that helpful to you in terms of what you asked me? It's a great question. I see a lot of people in my groups make the error of they'll just like if they have a problem, they can't figure something out, like they'll just go into AI and have like a 2-hour session. And I think that that's just a distraction. Like AI can be a distraction for you. We were talking about this today during our mastermind call. We have a weekly accountability call inside of my higher level group, which I refer to as the mastermind. And I was talking about distractions and how dangerous they are and how it really doesn't matter how focused you think you are, like they never stop. Like the distractions, the need and the desire to want to distract yourself will always be there, and it's on you. It's on you to catch yourself. And the analogy that I gave, or the example I gave, was when we're talking about business, when we're talking about online business, I ask all of my students, all of my clients, and I say, I want you to write down what are the top things that when you do them, they put money into your bank account. And I'll give you a great example. I'm talking to someone today who has a successful business, made a pretty significant amount of money relative to what she was earning before within a short period of time. And she's had this success, and she's like, well, what do you think about starting a YouTube channel? And then what do you think about, starting this group over here and doing this thing? Like, there's all these other ideas. And I said, how did you earn that amount of money in 2 weeks? And she told me. And I said, why don't you just do that? Like, why are you looking to add another spinning plate? Right? Because they all end up crashing. And this is the trap that everyone falls into, is they think that they have to do they have to do more stuff or more different stuff to make more money. When if I literally do four things, right? There's four things that I do, guys, that put money into my bank account. And when we're in business, let's be honest. Like, sure, we want to help people, we want to help our family, we want to change our lives, but we want to make money. We want to put green stuff into the bank account. That's why we do this. And how do we do that? How do we get the money into our bank account? Well, we have to identify the things that when we do them, it leads to that. And here's what it is for me. And I always look at this and I'm like, if I'm not doing this, if I'm doing something else, is there a good reason for it? And these are the things. Writing emails. When I write emails, I make money. When I send out emails, I make money. Making content, YouTube videos. When I make YouTube videos, I make money. People get on my email list. I earn dollars from AdSense. People get on my email list. They are likely to buy my other stuff because I can send them emails. If I don't make content, I don't make money. If I don't write emails, I don't make money. Engaging in my school communities, like literally talking to people in my school communities, posting, responding to posts, answering questions, helping them, getting on calls. And this is a call, right? This is a live call. But getting on calls with people one-to-one and talking to them, having conversations with them, helping them, that makes me money. Working on my logo, working on my website does not make me money. It doesn't. And that's the stuff that people work on. They like tweak the logos, they tweak all this stuff that doesn't matter. And it's usually because they don't want to do that stuff. They don't want to do the stuff that makes them money. And then they'll just say things like, well, I'm camera shy, or I don't like the sound of my voice, or I don't know how to do the tech piece. I don't know how to do all that stuff. When if I were to tell you, because I could, if you're looking for like, if you're here and you're looking for certainty and looking for guarantees, I could almost guarantee you that given enough period of time, if you were to create content, talk to your audience, write emails to them, you would make money. Like there's a guarantee that I'm willing to stick my name on. If you were to do those three things for a long enough period of time, it would be very highly unlikely that you would not have more money. Yet we kind of circle around this, well, I got to have the perfect idea and I got to pick the business and it's got to be the perfect thing and what if this and what if that. It's like, no, no, no. You just got to make a decision on the business, go and start building an audience. Start putting an offer together. I have a guy in my group who says one problem, one solution, one offer, one program, one problem, one solution, one program. And that's scary for a lot of people to grasp because, wow, what am I going to do with the rest of my day? When you have fewer things to do, you're usually left with some potential boredom because I don't do much else than that. Now, sure, there's other things that I do. Like I have some, I respond to emails and I respond to text messages on my own time. I'm not reactive at all. But there's other things that I do. That's just the majority of the stuff that I'm doing, like the 80%, like that's the thing. That's what I'm doing. I do calls all day long, right? I write emails. I make sure I do my content and my YouTube videos, and I don't let anything stop that. So my needle movers for each day look very similar. Like you want to get to the point, guys, where you're reliving the same day over and over again. And that can be boring for a lot of people. But if you want to win in this game of business and you want to make money, that's what you got to get to. You got to be doing the same stuff over and over again, like pumping out videos. I have a goal, excuse me, of making 100 videos before the end of the year, and I'm absolutely going to make it. I probably won't continue on that pace next year. I'll probably go to like 2 per week. I'm talking YouTube, like long form videos. But the 100 will give me such great data. I'll get all those reps in and I'll be able to use that moving forward. Excuse me. I had to clear my throat. Okay. So going back to the certainty piece, I really, if that's something you guys struggle with, I want you to free yourselves of that because one day, depending on how old you are, when you get old enough, you'll just realize that there's no certainty. And the reason that people stay in their 9 to 5 jobs and for a long period of time, even if they don't like them, is because that is probably the closest feeling of certainty that you have right now. It's like, for the most part, you know what you're getting, right? Like I go into work, I know how much money I'm going to earn. Like that's why people have budgets. It's like they're trying to fit everything into this like predictable, safe box that never gets broken, right? That will always be protected. And then the reality of it is that one day you go into work and they can just be like, "Hey, you're out of here. We're letting you go," and they don't have to give you a reason, like no reason. And people fall into the trap of thinking that that's safe and secure. And I remember when 2008 happened, when the crash of 2008 occurred, and I was still in my 9 to 5. I survived 3 rounds of layoffs. I was a salesperson, so the salespeople usually are the last ones to go. But I saw a lot of my friends just get laid off, like they were just laying people off a lot at a time. And it happened 3 times. And every time I was nervous and I was like, man, is it going to be me? I'm getting a little bit older here. I'm in my 40s. Like, who's going to hire me? And I survived it, but that really opened my eyes to the point of like, this can be taken away from me at any moment. And I have very, very little control over this. And then what am I going to do? And as I continue to get older and older and older, then I started to realize that number one, I looked at the corporate ladder and I saw those guys and I said, I don't want their lives. I don't want to be them. Like they look pretty unhappy. And that's when I started to take control of, I'm like, that is my certainty right there. Like I'm going to look like that. I'm going to be, instead of flying 100,000 miles per year, I'm going to be flying 175,000 miles per year and really be away from my family to make another 50 grand. Like, well, that's dumb. I don't want to make that trade. So I decided to take control of my situation and even though you can't do it, but put the certainty in my favor. Like there's a lot of things I can control so that I can feel a lot better about those things that I was scared about, which was like losing it all, right? Like everything that I've built could be taken away from me instantaneously without any control, without me having a say in it whatsoever. And that's the trap. I remember my first mentor that I hired, like my first real mentor, when it came time to leave my job because I had earned enough money, like I was starting to do well in my real estate business that I had at the time, which I no longer have. I was ready to leave. I was like, all right, I think it's time for me to leave. Like if I don't get out of this job, I'm going to go backwards in my real estate business. And I was having all this anxiety because I had been conditioned since I was a young kid. Hey, go to school, get a job, make sure you get good grades, son. Go work for a company that has a good management training program and stay there for 40 years and make sure you put money in your 401k so you got enough to retire. And it was like that was my programming, that was my download. So when it came time to break that, I went back to all that. It's like, wait a second, I got this steady paycheck and I've got these health benefits, which is without question one of the most, unless you have a condition already existing, is the most ridiculous reason to stay in a job for health insurance. I pay less in health insurance than I did when I was a W 2 right now as a business owner, less. Oh, and it's a tax write off. Oh, and the coverage is exactly the same. So it's just a big fat myth and a lie that people tell who are uninformed. They're misinformed. They all think that they're not going to be able to get health insurance. And trust me, you can. And I would be willing to pay 3 times more for health insurance if I didn't have to rely on somebody else to be responsible for my income because I can make 50 times more than in my W-2, right? Because it's my business. But giving all that up, I'm going back here, I'm retracting. Giving all that up was frightening because that was what I knew for 25 years. Like I'm getting this. Like this is it. So when it came time to leave that, I was nervous. And I remember my mentor who said to me at the time when I was going through this, like I was interviewing people who had left their 9 to 5 and I was, I was getting a lot of different opinions. And he said to me, he's like, Brian, the 9 to 5 is the risk. The job is the risk. And I thought about it for a second and I said to myself, I'm like, he's absolutely right. The job is the risk. Like staying in this is the risk because it can be taken away from me like that. And I just got lucky that it didn't. And I saw a lot of people who were not lucky and it was taken away from them. So I said, I'm going to take control of the situation and I'm going to do this. So I left the job. Like 2 days later, I resigned. And everyone that I interviewed, this is the funny part here, which is where the conditioning comes in and the programming comes in. Every single person that I interviewed like 4 or 5 people that had already left their job that were in the real estate business with me that had already left. And they worked 9 to 5s. And they all told me, it's like, oh, it's scary, but it's great. It's the best decision I ever made. Like I'd never look back. They said all these positive things, people who had done it, right? People who had done it. I asked the people who had already done it, who were where I wanted to be. And then I went to one of my friends that I had known since I was in high school, who was cut from the cloth. I want to work for a company for as long as possible, make as much money as I can, and do the least amount of work possible and retire. Like that was how he felt. No interest in starting a business whatsoever. So I asked him about I told him what I was doing. Like, hey, I'm thinking to leave my job. And, I got this real estate business happening. It's going pretty well. And, I'm making a lot of money and I'm projected to make, a lot more and I'm thinking to leave it. And I wasn't really asking him. I was just talking to him. And I remember this vividly. He said to me, he's like, real estate, huh? He's like, that sounds kind of risky. And I smiled because he was the last person I spoke to. And I knew I was making the right decision. I'm like, this person doesn't get it. He doesn't understand. He doesn't know what I know. And he's looking through the W-2 lens. And that's when I knew that I was doing the right thing. And that's when I also knew something very eye-opening, which I share with people all the time, is that we all look for validation in the wrong places. Like I'm going to do a YouTube video here soon, which is don't tell anyone about your business. Don't tell anyone about your business. Friends, family, coworkers, like don't tell them about it because they're just going to tell you not to do it. And in a lot of cases, that's exactly what you want to hear, right? Which is, oh, why would you leave that cushy job with the steady paycheck and the benefits and all that? Why would you leave that? Don't you know that 85% of businesses fail within the first 2 years or whatever this made up stat is? Don't you know that? Why would you give that? I wouldn't do that if I were you. And then you get the answers that you want because you're not really sure anyways. You're asking the wrong people. If you don't tell anybody and you just do it, and all of a sudden you have built a business because you're not worried about what other people think. Like who gives a crap what everybody else thinks? They don't live your life. You live your life. So their opinion is irrelevant. In my opinion, their opinion is irrelevant. And if you want to ask people who have done it. Ask me. I'll tell you what it's like. Don't ask another 9 to 5er who has no experience launching a business, who has no desire to get out of a 9 to 5, who just wants to be in the system, which is fine. I'm not knocking it. But don't ask them. Don't even tell them. Don't tell anybody. Just do it. We were all fed those lies. Go to school, get a degree, work for 30 years, retire. It just doesn't work that way. I don't think it worked that way ever. Like the system, well, our country needs employees, period. Like we don't have employees, people aren't paying taxes, right? And feeding the system. So, which is exactly what this is. And they're not buying houses and they're not borrowing money and they're not going into debt. Like that's a whole nother topic. But yes, we were all fed that. And my parents didn't know any better because they were fed the same garbage too. And the beauty of this is now I get to talk to my son about it. And I care about his grades in school. Like I care about what he does in school, but I really don't. It's like, go get good grades, just learn about the stuff. But none of that shit's going to matter. Really. No one ever asked me about my degree when I got a job. Like they just cared that I had a driver's license because I worked for Enterprise Rent a Car and they just wanted people to drive the cars, right? So as long as I didn't have points on my license, I was good to go. But no, you know how many people I talk to who have worked for a company for I don't know, 30 years, 25 years, and they're in their 50s and they get laid off and they can't get hired because nobody wants to hire somebody in their 50s, even though they can't say that, but that's the truth. And it's because they lived that way their entire life and they never had any type of a backup plan. And now they're still trying to find work. I have a degree in marketing, spent most of my career in oil field operating. Yeah. I have a BS in marketing too. Now I became a salesperson, but it's like they make us choose a path so young. It's like, how the heck are you supposed to know that? How are you supposed to know that? I mean, unless you know you're gonna be a doctor or a lawyer or some type of specialized thing, which doesn't always last forever anyways. A lot of people pivot from that. Then how the heck are you supposed to know? I don't know. I think you gotta I have a lot of thoughts on that. But yeah, we don't usually use our degrees. We just gotta pick one. And what does retirement mean anyways? Like I don't ever plan to retire. I like working. Like I want to live. Like what does retirement even mean? Like I think I get bored playing golf all the time and I love golf. I'd get bored just doing nothing all the time. Like I need to occupy the time. I want to be doing something. At least that's the way I view it. And I realize that I'm not everyone. Do Americans get the benefit of easy government support for its citizens to start businesses? In certain ways, yes. Until 2000, and yeah, in certain ways, there's a lot of uh, small business loans. There's SBA, which is an SBA loan. There's grants. There's a lot of different ways that you can you can get help. Yeah, but you know, one of the things I will say as well, and also there's just people with money. Period. Like one of the biggest objections about starting a business is I don't have money. People think they need like buckets of money to start a business when I could start a business today with my phone and $9 per month by opening up a school community for $9 a month and posting content and bringing people together and talking to them, building an audience, finding out what they want, making it for them and charging money for it. Like there isn't an easier business model, but everyone thinks they need piles of cash to start a business, and it's just false. You have the internet. Like it's so easy. I mean, you can open up a Shopify store. I think their plan is like $27 a month or something like that. Like there's it's so easy. It's so simple. Yet we love to come up with these excuses, and these reasons and these excuses are just it's just window dressing for the real truth. And the real truth, if everyone who has the list of excuses, which is usually time, money, or some type of self limitation they put on myself, like I can't do that or that won't work. Like they project outwardly, they never look inwardly. It's like if you strip all that away, then you're left with like the real reason. And it's usually some type of deep fear, or what I think it is for most people is you simply don't want it bad enough. You don't want it as bad as you say you do. So you're just lying to yourself. And that's what I did for years is I was lying to myself. I didn't want it as bad as I said I did. I didn't act like the guy that was talking about wanting more money and wanting to get out of his job. It's like I say that to people like who come to me and be like, I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of failing and not and I want more money and I want more time with my kids. And I'm like, well, act like it. Act like it. What would that person do right now? You know, and they don't have answers for me. And nobody likes to be called out, but that's the truth. It's just easier to say, well, I don't have money, or I don't have time, or I got this thing happening, or I got this thing happening. You know, Francesca, hello. Great to have you here. Until 2008, people thought that 1929 was just the yeah, all over the world. We can't have all the control we want to. No, we can't. Someone asked me, I think it was yesterday when I was on the live about, and I think he's on here. This person's on here asking about like inflation, and all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't even worry about it. I don't worry about it. I just keep doing what I'm doing. My latest YouTube video was about views. Like a lot of people are complaining about, their views being down. And I said, my views are down too. My YouTube video views are down 70% from the previous month, August, down 70%. And I made more money in August than I did in July. Why? Because I keep doing the same thing that I've been doing for this past several years. Is I'm posting my content, I'm sending out my emails, I'm building my audience, I'm talking to my audience, and I'm giving them what they want. So I don't worry about any of that stuff. It doesn't impact me. I just keep doing. I can't control it. I just keep doing what I've been doing. I don't be like, oh, I gotta rip my whole business apart because my views are down for 2 months. It's like I know it's going to happen. It happens every single year. I just keep doing what I'm doing. The work that you do today shows up 90 days later. The results show up 90 days later. And if you don't do the work and you're in a funk, then and it's bad right now, 3 to 4 months from now, it's going to be way worse. I did lease options and didn't spend any money, made a very good. That's what I did, Randy. I did lease options, seller financing, sub 2, Hated that business. Man, I hated that business so much. Sucked. Unfortunately, I was very good at it. I was really good at it because I could talk to sellers. But I hated the business and I gave up on it. Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, a lot of laws, a lot of rules. I have one property left. I have one left that's a seller financing deal, and I sold it on a wrap. So I bought it on seller financing. I bought it sub to seller financing, and I sold it. I sold it on a wrap mortgage, and it's like automatic. Like it's just automatic. Like the person pays the mortgage every single month, like clockwork. I never hear from them because when I handed in the keys, I'm like, I don't want to hear from you. Like something breaks, call the repairman. I am not a landlord. So that I hated the landlord part because people were calling me, with every little thing. Even though, that's when you sell it. What did you do when you did the lease option? How did you sell it? Did you rent them? Did you sell them rent to own? I don't want to get off topic here too much, but exclusively. All right, cool. Guys, I have a call coming up. And I have to go. Yeah. No, I know. I did those too. I'm saying, how did you sell it? In limited ways, internet is amazing. Growing up, we used to hear in India that Americans are damn cocky and arrogant, but people like Brian completely. I mean, I've been known to be arrogant and cocky, but I've calmed down. I used to have a big ego. Yes. We used to hear in India that Americans are damn cocky. We'll talk later. Yeah, right on. Randy and OKC. Very clear what you're doing. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here while I do this streak. I got one more day. I'm going to be on tomorrow. Not sure when, but I'll see you then. All right. Appreciate it. I'll have a good day. See you now. Bye.